Hi everybody! Welcome back to the YouTube channel of St. George Coptic Orthodox Church of Greater Philadelphia. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a single video. Today we will be talking about St. Mark. We're going to discuss who he was and why he's very important to the Coptic Orthodox Church. When the Holy Family came and visited Egypt, they set a platform for St. Mark so he could come 40 years later and go on a mission to preach all about Christ throughout Egypt. When I say the Holy Family, I'm talking about Jesus, his mother St. Mary, and his father Joseph. Sometimes we refer to them as the Holy Family. When the Holy Family needed to flee or to escape from King Herod, Egypt was one of the places that they stopped at. They were escaping from King Herod because he wanted to harm baby Jesus. As the Holy Family entered into Egypt, the noise of the rushing mighty wind was heard, and the earth was trembling. Even the idols that were worshipped by the Egyptians crashed and fell to the floor. 40 years later, St. Mark would come and enter into Egypt and preach all about Christ. St. Mark's original name was actually John, but his surname was Mark. He was born 3 years after the birth of Christ by two Jewish parents. They lived in a city called Cyrene. It was on the western border of Egypt. St. Mark was actually from Libya. His parents migrated to Palestine and they settled in Cana of Galilee. He was also related to St. Peter. St. Mark was a very educated man. He studied Greek and Latin. St. Mark was one of the 70 apostles that followed Jesus. His home was the place of gathering for Jesus and the disciples during the Last Supper. It was also the place where the disciples stayed after Jesus' resurrection and where the Pentecost took place. St. Mark's home is well known as the first church in the world. St. Mark's first visit to Alexandria was in the year 43 AD, which is after the death of Christ. There were 3 races in Egypt at the time. There were Egyptians, Greeks, and Jews. In addition, there were a few Romans, but all of them were not Christian. In Alexandria, St. Mark healed the hands of Aeneas the shoemaker. Aeneas and his family were baptized by St. Mark, and they even became the first Christian family in Egypt. Many people in Alexandria became Christians and met with St. Mark in Aeneas' house, because it was the first church in the city. About 6 years later, in the year 49 AD, St. Mark ordained St. Aeneas as the first bishop of the Egyptian church. Now you see why St. Mark is very important to the Coptic Orthodox Church. He was the first apostle to come and to spread the word of Christ all throughout Egypt. He even ordained the first bishop in Egypt and helped to open the first church in Egypt too. Blessed is Egypt, my people. Isaiah 19:25. Now say the verse with me. Blessed is Egypt, my people. Isaiah 19:25.